The Galactic Council's chambers rarely fell silent. 1,000 species argued across the stars, filling the holographic halls with politics, ego, and thinly veiled threats. But when the Varelian representative refused to even mention Earth's name, silence settled like a shroud. "We will not go near it," said the Varelian echo form. Its crystalline body shimmered in layered frequencies of light and sound, its voice harmonizing with itself in a chorus of minds. Counselor's son Rock, a moss-skinned Trinari with long neural tendrils, leaned forward in curiosity. "Forgive me, Elder. Earth has applied for full Concord integration. The Varelians were to lead the ceremonial orbit. You've done this for every emerging species since the Dawn Accords." "Not this one," the Varelians said simply. "Earth is not like the others." "Because of the humans?" Rock asked, trying to keep his tone diplomatic. "Yes, they're volatile, resource-hungry, but they've shown creativity, adaptability. They survived 2 global wars and invented artificial gravity in just 2 centuries. It is not only humans," the Varelian interrupted. "They are but the recent tenants. Earth is older than your archives allow, older than we speak of. There are things on that world which should not wake." A ripple of unease passed through the council. That was no metaphor. Varelians did not trade in mysticism or exaggeration. They were known for their precision. If they feared Earth, it wasn't politics. It was something deeper. After the session, Counselor Rock sought out one of the few experts he trusted with something this strange, Dr. Mara Voss. Mara was a human and a fringe academic by galactic standards. Her specialty was pre-contact Earth anomalies, unusual magnetic readings, ancient megaliths, fossil records that didn't match expected evolution timelines. Her reputation was stained by her open suspicion that Earth had hosted non-human presences long before humanity arose. When Rock contacted her aboard the orbiting Concord station Relentless Light, she didn't even blink. "They said it's not only humans?" she asked, pouring herself a cup of thick, black coffee. Her hair was pulled back, her eyes sharp despite the hour. "Yes, they claim something else lives, or slept, on your planet. Something older." Mara nodded slowly. "I believed that for years." Rock studied her. "You think the Varelians are telling the truth?" "I think they know something we don't," she said, "and I think they've known it for a long time." She stood and crossed to a wall-mounted display, tapping through data. "You know what's under the crust of Earth? I mean really under it." Rock tilted his head. "Molten rock, a metallic core. Life is on the surface." "That's what the textbooks say," she replied. "But 20 years ago, one of our deep-bore seismic sensors picked up rhythmic pulses, like a signal, buried deep below the South Pacific, near the Mariana Trench." Rock's tendrils stirred. "A natural phenomenon? Maybe. But the pulses stopped the moment we dropped a deep-sea drone in the area. Just stopped, like it knew we were watching." Rock's voice turned low. "You've told no one?" Mara smirked. "I tried. The council called it a sensor glitch. Earth's governments covered up, said the drone malfunctioned. But I have copies of the raw data." She pulled up the waveform. Rock stared at it. A rising, falling curve that repeated with eerie precision. Not random, not tectonic. It almost looked mathematical. "So," Mara said, crossing her arms, "you want to know why the Varelians won't touch Earth? Maybe they were the ones who sealed something in. Or maybe they just survived whatever was last time." Rock felt a chill, a strange reaction for a Trinari. "What are you suggesting?" he asked. "I'm suggesting," Mara said, "that Earth might not just be the cradle of humanity. It might be a tomb, or a prison. And the key to that prison is waking up." A long silence passed between them. Finally, Rock said, "I will make a formal request to scan the planet. Quietly. We'll need to be discreet." Mara smiled faintly. "Then let's find out what's been hiding on our home world." Outside the station's viewing deck, Earth spun silently in the void. Blue-green, cloud-streaked. Alive. Familiar. But beneath the crust and oceans, the deep places waited. And something was listening. The Antarctic wind howled against the outer walls of Research Station Helios 7, a remote Earth galactic outpost perched at the edge of the Ross ice shelf. The human and alien scientists within barely noticed. All eyes were fixed on the monitors. A deep penetration orbital scan, authorized quietly by Counselor Rock and overseen by Dr. Mara Voss, had just finished its third sweep of Earth's mantle. "No way this is a natural formation," muttered Lynn Ortega, Earth's leading geophysicist. Her eyes were locked on the 3D projection. "This thing is symmetrical and big, like mountain range big." Rock's tendrils twitched as he examined the structure's layout. Buried nearly 80 kilometers below the Earth's surface, hidden beneath tectonic folds, was a sprawling hexagonal formation, impossibly precise, extending for miles. It pulsed faintly in the data, as though resonating with something outside the scan's range. "What material is it made of?" Rock asked. "Unknown," Lynn replied. "It's denser than lead, but doesn't behave like any known metal. It's absorbing our scanning waves, bouncing them back in a delay pattern, like it's analyzing us." Rock looked at Mara. She was quiet, her arms crossed, lips drawn tight. "You've seen this before," he said. "Not directly," she answered, "but in patterns. Cave markings from pre-human cultures. Anomalous fossils. Even in some tribal songs recorded in the Amazon. References to the builders who sleep under stone. Everyone assumed they were myths. Or dreams." One of the Varelian warning phrases returned to Rock's memory. "The deep places are not yours, nor ours." "Could it be an artificial vault?" he asked. "A containment?" "That's the leading theory," Lynn replied. "The structure is cold. No geothermal bleed, no magnetic interference. It's like the planet grew around it, or was placed there before Earth solidified." Mara turned, "Which would mean it's older than Earth." No one responded. Hours later, in the lower levels of the station, Mara met Rock in a secured room. She keyed in a private file, footage never publicly released. It was from 15 years earlier, from a deep-sea research mission that had descended into the Mariana Trench. The drone's camera showed darkness, sediment, and then a glimpse of something smooth and dark like black glass. Then the screen went white. "EMP burst," Mara explained. "Wiped everything, even the surface gear. It came from inside the trench." Rock stared at the freeze-frame image. On the glassy surface, faintly illuminated by the drone's lights, were symbols, twisting spirals, angular glyphs. They seemed to move even in the still image, like optical illusions that defied focus. He turned to her. "What language is that?" "It's not a language," Mara whispered. "It's geometry. Pure, weaponized geometry." Rock stepped back, disturbed. "This isn't just a tomb, is it? It's a cage. A cage for something that understands us." Mara nodded. "We're used to, or taught us how to understand ourselves." They stood in silence for a while, the room filled with the hum of ancient secrets brushing against modern tech. Later, during a closed council session, Rock reported his findings. The council split, some demanding Earth's quarantine, others skeptical, claiming ancient ruins were nothing new. The debate spiraled until one of the council's senior archivists, an elder of the Lon the race, stood and recited an ancient record. Before the dawn, a world was sealed. It bore life, but beneath its seed, an echo stirred. That echo once screamed across the void. It must not scream again. No one had heard that record before. The Varelians had placed it in the Galactic archive over 500 million years ago. The chamber grew still. The council passed a motion to place Earth under observation, but not to act unless a threat became active. Mara and Rock returned to Earth with renewed urgency. More scans were ordered. A new expedition site was chosen, where tectonic weakness allowed access near the structure's surface. They would dig, but something had already begun to stir. Satellites detected tiny fluctuations in the ionosphere above the trench. Birds across the Pacific altered migration routes. Deep ocean sensors picked up rhythmic pulses again, no longer faint. Earth was humming, and someone, or something, was starting to hum back. The drill bit screamed as it bit into ancient stone, a whine muffled by layers of reinforced plating and containment seals. Mara Voss stood at the observation deck inside Subcore Descent Module 4, her gloved hands gripping the rail. They were 5 kilometers below Antarctica's ice, deeper than any human expedition had ever dared. "We're coming up on the outer shell," Lynn Ortega said over comms. Structure integrity is holding, but it's not reacting yet. Mara narrowed her eyes. It will. The expedition was global and interstellar now, backed by a shaky alliance of Earth governments and Concord representatives. Alongside Mara and Lynn were two alien researchers, Rock, of course, and Sator, a neural wave engineer from the insectoid Harkeen race, who claimed the vault emitted patterns older than known space. The drone footage displayed the breakthrough live, cold, flat stone giving way to something impossibly smooth and black beneath. A curved surface, polished and seamless, reflecting the drilling lights like oil on glass. Then the drill stopped, not by command. The machinery froze mid-motion. No error code, no power loss. It simply ceased. What just happened? Lynn said. No shutdown protocol, replied the tech. It's like the system doesn't remember it was moving. Mara felt a weight settle in her stomach. Rock moved beside her. We're being watched. Lights flickered inside the module. Subtle at first, then rhythmic. Not random, coordinated. Sator hissed from across the room, mandibles clicking nervously. The structure is responding, he said. It is aware of us. Before anyone could speak, a low tone vibrated through the walls. Deep, subsonic. It wasn't heard, it was felt. In teeth, in bone, in thought. Rock grabbed a handrail as the lights dimmed to red. Sator, what is that signal? The Harkeen's antennae twitched violently. I don't know. It's not language. It's recognition. It's mirroring our brainwave patterns. It's remembering how to speak. Suddenly, a section of the black wall shimmered. The material dissolved, not mechanically, but as though phasing out of existence, revealing a chamber beyond. A long, circular tunnel descended into darkness. No lights, no gravity stabilizers, no atmosphere readings. But it was open. The team argued for hours. Some wanted to send drones. Others wanted to reseal the breach and forget it existed. But Mara stood firm. It opened for us, she said. It could have crushed us, disabled us, attacked us. It didn't. That's an invitation. Or a test, Rock thought silently. With limited oxygen, sealed suits, and layered psychic dampeners, a 6-person team entered the vault. The tunnel walls were lined with symbols, those same moving glyphs that danced when you tried to stare too long. They seemed alive, shifting with each step. Lynn reported dizziness. 2 others began sweating despite the cold. They reached the heart chamber in less than an hour. It was vast, miles across. The dome's ceiling was lost in mist. At the center stood a spire of black crystal, wrapped in chains of light and orbiting stone, floating as if gravity bent in deference. Inside the spire, something pulsed. It wasn't shaped like anything biological. No eyes, no limbs. Just a presence. A cluster of shadows flickering within the crystalline prison. Mara stepped forward, against everyone's warning. The presence stirred, and then spoke. W-E-R-E-M-E-M-B-E-R-D. The sound bent the walls. Half the team collapsed. One man began weeping uncontrollably. Sator's mind-touch barrier barely held. What does it mean? Rock demanded, dragging Mara back. Mara's face was pale. It remembers us, or something like us. Something before. As they staggered back to the surface, seismic tremors rocked the ice above. The sky flickered, auroras where none should be. And every Varelian vessel in the system vanished simultaneously, folding into higher dimensions. They knew. The vault had breached, and the thing that slept beneath Earth had started to wake. The world did not end overnight, but it did begin to change. Above Antarctica, the auroras thickened into roiling storms of light, twisting colors unseen by the human eye. Magnetic fields warped across the globe. Birds fell from the sky mid-flight. Deep-sea species washed up on shores, bloated and twitching, eyes wide with instinctive terror. But the most disturbing change came in the silence. No more songs from whales. No more forest echoes. No seismic tremors from usual fault lines. Earth, once noisy in the language of life, had gone still, listening. And deep beneath the ice, inside the ancient vault, the thing in the crystal spire had begun to grow. Mara Voss stood at the edge of the containment ring. watching the shifting black crystal as it split and reformed like flowing glass. The chains of levitating stone that had once held it firm were fragmenting, orbiting more slowly now, humming like tuning forks. "I think it's remembering itself," she whispered. Rock joined her. His bioluminescent veins dimmed in the chamber's glow, or becoming what it used to be. They had named it Echoform Alpha, not because it gave answers, but because it reflected everything they brought to it. Machines shut down in its presence. Psychic waves rebounded with increased intensity. It didn't speak again. It mirrored. One of the researchers theorized that it was learning not just language, but identity, that it had once been vast, aware, and was now reforming through whatever consciousness reached it. "I need to go back in," Mara said. Rock's tendrils stiffened. "The last attempt nearly ruptured your mind. I've studied everything we have. Look." She pulled up images, spirals, symbols etched into cave walls, echoes in Sumerian ziggurats, Incan terraces, even orbital diagrams from extinct Martian colony, all of them mimicking the glyphs on the vault walls. "It's always been here," she said. "We didn't evolve beside it. We evolved because of it." "You believe it created humanity?" "No," she replied. "I think it shaped us, left traces of itself behind in our minds. Myth, religion, art, instinct. Earth isn't just its prison. It's its echo chamber." Rock was silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, he lowered his head. "Then you must go. But you won't go alone." The chamber's interior was no longer dormant. The crystal had expanded, now stretching tendrils of obsidian light across the ground like veins. They pulsed with memory, with thought. Mara stepped into the circle, her body rigged with biofeedback dampeners and cognitive restraints. Behind her, Rock stood within a secondary ring, monitoring her vitals and transmitting ancient Varelian defense chants, resonant phrases thought to stabilize dimensional bleed. As Mara crossed the threshold, she felt nothing at first. Then everything. Her mind was no longer hers. Images flooded in. Suns dying in green fire. Cities carved into asteroids, devoured by shadows. Beings without shape or time, speaking in probability. Earth a nursery, a cage. A whisper left after something too vast to comprehend was shattered and sealed. The entity pulsed, not with speech, but intent. Mara's thoughts fractured. Her voice escaped her in a whisper. "It's not one thing. It's many. Fragments of a war, of a mind that shattered before life began here." She gasped. It didn't fall to earth. It was put here. Then she heard the final truth. A memory locked in human DNA. A buried failsafe. We, the humans, were not guardians or prisoners. We were bait. A failsafe species, evolved to resonate with the entity, to trigger its reformation if the vault ever decayed. Humanity wasn't the threat. Humanity was the key. Mara collapsed. Rock rushed forward, breaking protocol. The chamber pulsed in reaction. The tendrils of light recoiled. He lifted Mara in his arms. Her eyes were unfocused, but she breathed. "We were wrong," she murmured. "The Varelians didn't fear us. They feared what would answer through us." Above, in orbit, Concord sensors picked up a beacon firing from Earth into deep space. Old tech, older than recorded galactic civilization. A signal, a call. The vault had remembered. The galaxy stirred. And somewhere beyond the rim of known stars, something heard it.